Hamza, please check my message. All right. So let's get back. Now it's task 2. Task 2 is an extension of task 1. And what it says simply whatever the invoice that is created out of task 1 will now be extended. Now the system will ask the user if they want to choose from other 4 categories. If they want to, they will choose one product every time and then system re-asks them. And this way it will go on for some time. As soon as you say you don't want to add any more items, and then it will show the updated invoice which would have the items from task 1 and both task 2. So let's see how. So we go for task 1. We choose we go for task 1. We choose A1, then we choose B1, and then we choose C1. So this is the outcome of task 1, which is 404.98 as a total price. Then we choose task 2. Now it is asking us that there are 4 more categories if we want to choose from either of them. We say yes, we want to choose from them, and then choose an additional item. Let's say I choose item which is, let's say, F2. It is optical drive, F2 here, optical drive DVD Blu-ray, and that is 100. All right, so the category is optical drive. So I have chosen this. If I like to choose another, yes, I would like to choose another, and then I choose the G1. All right, so I choose G1, and then I say no. That's enough. Now you can see that this was the previous invoice 75, 79, 49, and these two items are added now in task 2 with the basic set of components. So it was 404.98 and it has become 604.98. Now let's see how it is accomplished in pseudocode. As far as pseudocode is concerned, this is now task 2. It is extension of task 1. So first of all, it says that output code, item description, and all those items which belong to those optional categories are shown. Now, this part of the code is not required by the exam, so you can skip it. And then my option. I will be using this particular uh, variable to have the option. Which option? Yes or no option. So while upper, my option is not equal to n. Upper means it's a function. Whatever the value that you enter might be a small n or m, sorry, n or y. So in that case, this upper function will make it as uppercase. So otherwise, we may have other options of having this statement, but this is the one that we have used. So even if you enter small n, upper will convert it to capital N, and then it will be checked. While upper option does not become, while it is not equal to n, so it will be in a loop. As I said that it will keep asking you until you choose to opt out of task 2. So do you want to buy additional components, yes or no, and then you input in my option, and then you check if my option is yes. If it is, then we have another variable item ID that we described earlier as well. Then we will take one input. Now this input is not limited to 1, 2, or 3 items. It is now all of the items out of those leftover 4 categories. So it could be D1 or D2 or E1 or E2 or E3 or F1 or F2, G1 and G2. You might have seen that I have chosen F2 and G1 out of all those items. If it is not out of these items, system will simply refuse it. And but if these are these items, then system will let us go in, and then uh, it will output choose an additional code. Then we will input item ID, and then we will again check if the item ID is out of all these IDs. If it is not, then it will say that choose either of these. So this is basically a presence check for all the items in the leftover categories. All right. Once we are at the end of the loop, this will send us back to while, and it will make us input the value once again. And this will go on until you like to choose an item which is valid. Once you choose the item which is valid, system will get out of this while validation, and then an item count will be increased. So we had like earlier 3 items, now it has become 4. Now we have used case of item ID. If it is item D1, in that case new sales price will be increased. New sale price will be basically, sorry, we have to use these large brackets over here. Hold on. So new sale item price, item count, whatever the fourth item is now will have the price from the ninth. So because D1 is actually present at the ninth row of the given table. All right. And if it is D2, then price will be taken from row 10. If it is E1, price will be taken from row 11. By now, I hope that you have an idea that all these items are at their corresponding rows. And whenever we choose an item like E1 is in row 11, so the price of the E1 will be picked up from 11. Similarly, new sale item will have the description from the corresponding row. So this will go on for any of the item that you have chosen in every turn. So once you have chosen an item, its prices are basically picked up in the array's next item location, and its description is picked up in new sales item array and new sales item price array in corresponding position, which is the next item. So earlier, if it were three items, it is now fourth item. As we go on with it, the item count will be increased. As you can see over here, we keep increasing the item count. Okay. Now, system will go back and it will ask you again if you want to buy additional items. If you say yes, it will basically make you go inside this loop, and it will keep adding new items, prices, and descriptions at new item count locations. So once you say no, you will get out of this loop. Now, once you are out, the whole invoice price will be calculated once again. So basic computer prices are for the basic components are 200, and then it will actually output all the chosen item from the new sale item array and new sale item price array. So all of the names and the prices as described by Hamza for task 1 will be updated on the screen. And while it is updating on the screen, the computer prices from all new sale item prices are added up together. So it is totaling computer prices. Once those prices are totaled up for all the items, that may be at most 7 because there are 7 categories, it will be calculated, and when you get out of this loop, it will show that basic set of component is actually 200 now. So all of the item that you have chosen plus 200 is basically the total price of the computer, and then output total price of the computer prices. So this is very simple. First, you need to show rest of the categories, which is optional and it is not required by the exam point of view. Then you will ask the user if they want to choose any additional item. If they choose yes, then you will enter this loop, and if they say no, you will conveniently exit this loop. But if you enter this loop, whatever the item that you choose must be out of these. This is a validation for the presence check. If these items are not present, we cannot get into it. Or if these items are not there, then this error message will be output on the screen. If the item is there, you will get out of this validation presence check. Once we get out of this presence check, the item count will be increased. As up till now from task 1 we have only chosen 3 items, now it will become 4th, and then whatever the item that you choose from the corresponding row item to the item price, the prices will be picked up, and the description from the same row in another array, item description, it will be added to new sale item. So the arrays which are used for invoice making are either new sale item price or new sale item itself. New sale item contains the description and new sale item price contains the prices. Once this loop ends, we get out, and then in the loop for all the items that we have chosen until now, the prices are summed up in computer price array, and every time the price is basically shown on the screen as well, so that description and price, they all are shown and the prices are totally uh, computed. And remember, computer prices are starting from 200. We are initializing at 200 because this basic component of the computers are basically costing 200. Then whatever the price that you have calculated, 200 is already there. And then ओमेमा फैसल सर माय प्राइस वेरिएबल का पर्पस समझ नहीं आया बेटा माय प्राइस वेरिएबल सिर्फ प्राइस जो स्क्रीन पर दिखाने हैं उस पर्टिकुलर आइटम के उनको पिक कर रहा है आप माय प्राइस को यहाँ से हटा के डायरेक्ट आप लिख सकते हैं न्यू सेल प्राइस आइटम आउटपुट न्यू सेल प्राइस आइटम फ्रॉम एग्जाम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू समटाइम्स आई हैव सीन कि आप पहले एरे से वेरिएबल में डाटा ट्रांसफर करके फिर उसको आउटपुट करें आप डायरेक्ट एरे को भी आउटपुट कर सकते हैं लेकिन अब इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं हम कि एरे से अभी थोड़ी देर पहले अरहम ने भी पूछा था एरे से हम प्राइसेस उठा के माय प्राइस में रखते हैं देन वी आउटपुट माय प्राइस अब इफ यू लाइक you can directly output new sale item price and then you don't need my price variable. So my price variable is just a temporary variable to pick up prices from the array and then we show the my price on the screen. So if you could see over here in task 2, if I say yes, so it means that I am going to choose, let's say G2. Oh, I have entered it wrong. I have to have capital G and 2. No. So my price is picking up one item at a time and this price which is being shown over the screen is basically coming up from the my price variable. So from array to variable and then variable is output and you can output it directly from the array as well. But from exams point of view, it is actually a good idea to pick up value from the array and then show that value from the variable where you have picked it up. So that is task 2. Now let's discuss task 3 and remember showing all the items at the start might not be a good idea because it is not required, but showing all the items towards the end in an invoice is actually necessary. Only part that you can leave is this to maintain the spaces, in between description and price. Otherwise, except this part, everything needs to be clearly set out on a screen as output. It was asked in the PRM. It is actually very necessary. Now, task 3. Now, task 3 is again extension of task 2. Until task 1 is not completed, task 2 cannot happen. Until task 2 is not completed, task 3 cannot happen. So what task 3 says? Task 3 says that it is an extension of task 2. Apply a 5% discount to the prices of the computer if the customer has bought only one additional item. So what are those 3 items in series A, in series B, and in series 3? Those are necessary items and these are required to be purchased from each category, but other 4 categories, those are optional. So we have to give a 5% discount if someone has chosen at least one item from those additional 4 categories, and apply a 10% discount to the price of the computer if the customer has bought 2 or more additional items. Okay, so from task 2, if someone has chosen any additional item from other 4 categories, in that case we will be giving 5% discount. Means in that sale item category and sale item price array, if the number of items chosen is more than 3 and it is 4, then 5% discount, and if the item count is greater than 4, then 10% discount. Output the amount of money saved and new prices of the computer after the discount. So invoice will be shown. So let's see how actually it is happening. So we have these necessary items. 200 is always there, and then I have chosen 3 more items. All right. So let's see how task 3 works. Now, since I have chosen 2 more items, I am entitled for 10% discount. So you can see that these are three more items. So that is optical drive, DVD, Blu-ray rewriter, operating system standard version, and operating system professional version. I have chosen these three things because of these additional three items from task 2. I am given a 10% discount. Now total price was 779.98 and now it is 701.982. Let us see that how actually it is achieved. Now computer prices are 200 and we have shown all of the items there that we had chosen basically. So this is an output of the invoice as we were doing towards the end of task 1 and task 2. So there is nothing special except you can skip this part conveniently. All right, and this my price can be output here, and if you like you can skip my price here and you can actually directly output from the array. So all we wanted is to show the description and the price of all the items that we have chosen in task 1 and task 2. Once we get out of it, then there is a check. So this is as it was happening. This is as it was happening at the end of the task 1 and task 2. The end of the task 2 is basically the start of task 3. So the invoice will be output. All right, the whole invoice is output. If you could see over here, the whole invoice is output up till here. So this the code is basically the same, and afterwards we will decide whether to give discount, whether not to give discount. If to give discount, then we will have to count the items. If the items are 4, then only 5% discount, and if items are more than 4, it means that we have chosen additional items more than 1. In that case, we will be giving 10% discount. So let's see. If item count, and we were counting the item, if you do remember, we were counting the item as soon as we were having a new item to be added to the invoice. If you do remember from task 2, every time we have chosen a new item, if that entry is valid, we were adding 1 to the item count. So if item count is 3, it means it is just those 3 basic categories chosen. Output, no discount applied. Else if item count is equal to 4, it means that one additional item is chosen, then it is 5% discount applied. And then the computer price will be discounted by 5%. So if you multiply it by 0.95, automatically the prices will be discounted. Means if it is 100, it will become 95. That is very simple. Else if the item count is greater than 4, it means that we have chosen in task 2 more than 2 items. I mean more than one item. So if there is, these are just basic items, these are 3. If there is one more item, item count is 4. And if there are more than one items additional chosen, then it is item count more than 4. It might be 4, it might be 5. Sorry, it might be 5, might be 6, 7, and maximum item that you can choose is 7. So if it is greater than 4, it means that 10% discount is applied, and in that case, we will be multiplying by 0.9. And there might be another formula, computer price divided by 100 multiplied by 90. Things like that can be also done, but this is more convenient to be understood. And then finally, output. So this is actually the part that belongs to task 3, which is actually watching how many items were sold. If these are just 3, no discount applied, it will be output. If these are 4, it means 5% discount is applied. We will show that 5% discount, and then we will reduce the computer price by 5%, and we will show the output. And then if it is more than 4, it means it might be 2 items or up to 7 items, any number of items, and in that case we will be outputting these are 10%. This invoice has now 10% discount applied, and then we will be reducing the price by 10%, and then we will output total price of the computer after the discount. So that is basically very easy. So just these lines belong to, if you don't show the invoice, it is not necessary. It is not necessary. It is not asked for. Okay, but No, it is asked for. Let me let me once again check. Uh, Apply 5% output amount of money saved and the new price of the computer. So to show invoice, it is not necessary. So all you have to do is to just write this part. So they say that what is the amount that is shown? Total price. You have to show you total price, and then if there are any discounts and what are the amounts and how much have you saved, and then original, and then discounted price are being shown. All right, so that's about it. Let us actually try it once again. So again, task one. Task one, this time we will only choose one item from the basic category. So A2, B3, and C1. All right, so this is our invoice. We go for task two and we choose not to have any additional items. I say no. So there is nothing added. Okay, hold on. Let me start it once again because it already has previous items added to it. So task one, A1, B2, C3. Task two, I say no. I say no. All right, so just three basic items and basic set of components. Nothing added, 554.98. And if I go for task three, it will say no discount applied because just three items are added additional to the basic set of components. So there is no discount. Now, let's get back to task two and choose one of the item. Yes, I'll go for E3. E3 is second hard disk drive, 129 worth. I say no. Now E3 is added, 129.99. If I go for task 3 now, I will be given 5% discount because I have chosen just one more item additional to these three basic items in addition to basic set of components. So I am giving just 5% discount. So it was 684.97 and now it is 650.7215. And if I choose one more item in task 2, let's say I choose for G2, yes, for G2, and then so that's it. Now I am entitled in task 3 for 10% discount because I have chosen more than one additional item. So the original price were 859.97 and the computer prices after discount is 773.973. It means that the price is being multiplied now by 0.9 and that is how it works. All right, this simulator and all of the stuff that we have shared today is actually present at the GitHub. If you visit zakonweb.com, over here, this icon with a cat on it is basically GitHub. If you click GitHub, go to pre-release material. It would be right on the top. All right, I have pinned it up. So it is pinned here. So pre-release materials. Choose October series, then go with O-level series to your respective variant. In your case, in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, it is P22. Go for P22, and then simulator is there. So you can always download the simulator file and run it for your own understanding of it. Expected questions. Now this is the last part that we have to discuss. So the marking scheme of the questions and the questions themselves are all there. All right. So now you can download it as well. So let's download it. Go back, choose questions, download them as well. Let's see what questions say. These are the questions for your practice of PRM. All variables, constants, and other identifier must have meaningful name. Describe the data structure that you have used to store the data for the computer component in task 1. And that is what basically we have used what? Array. All right, so data structure is array, name is item code, data type is a string, and then we have to have another array description and then another array. We have 3 arrays there, so we have described it in task 1. Let's see. Then we have question state one variable used in task 2. So variable in task 2 was more choices, which is boolean, any variable you can choose. Then explain how you calculated the discount on overall computer price in task 3. How we calculated. We actually, a counter kept incrementing every time an item is chosen. That was the item count. If the counter value is 1, applying 5% discount to the final prices. Actually, it is if the counter count is 4, then 5% discounts are applied. This description is bit not correct. The counter value is 4, then one more item is added. So it is generalized. So it is said that if the counter value is 1, it is actually counter value is 4, then 5% discount is, and if it is greater than 4, it means that a 10% discount is applied. Then we have write an algorithm for task 1 using either pseudocode or otherwise. So sir, what about programming statement questions? That is just no programming statements are required, only for the declaration of arrays. I have mentioned in Hafsa before that nobody will ask you to write any single statement in any programming languages. That is not part of the syllabus except declaration of arrays. And for that, when I was describing arrays, I taught you how to declare an array. That's about it. That's it. No programming statements. Everything is pseudocode. All right, so write an algorithm for task 1. So you would have to write the whole task 1. Assume that the data structure is storing about the data has already been populated. So you would have to write after the population. All right, otherwise it will take a lot of time to show that all the arrays are now initialized, and after initialization all the data is populated to arrays. No, that is done, and you have to write further. And then next question is, using either pseudocode programming statements, write an algorithm for task 2. Use comments within the program. Now, what are comments? Comments are basically these statements are just given. These are not required for the program. These programming statements, you can conveniently ignore them for good. Only those statements, or only that statement where we have actually declared the array, as in we have skipped it, it is not there, but the original code that I have written, you would have the declaration of array in there and just pick it from there. So we won't write task 1 before array population if it is asked that way. If it is asked that way. And most probably it would be that way, yes. we actually have to cater for Visual Basic and Python both, because teachers around the globe are they are teaching in different languages as well. Although it is not required, but sometimes it is a good idea. If you are being taught for the same level for about 3 years and it is the same teacher, so teacher would have a lot of time to teach you with different programming languages. But as it happens in Pakistan that we study this level only in 8 to 10 months, so this is not basically practical that we teach them paper one and paper two and then programming languages as well. That is not possible. Anyways, next question. And suppose the computer shop wants the program to display if discount is applicable, the money saved as the percentage of the initial prices of the computer. So new prices after discount divided by actual prices multiplied by 100 will actually show the percentage of the discount. So that's about it. These were a few questions, and you can see that's about it. There is nothing to be worried about PRM. PRM is very simple. It is straightforward. Yes, the use of arrays is extensive, and all those parts where we are outputting the content of array on the screen, they are extremely optional, and I would say that do not use them if it is not asked for, as it is not in the PRM. And as far as the questions are concerned, they will be related to the code that you have written, but strictly for the pseudocode. Otherwise, all the codes in Python and Visual Basic are also there. The simulator that we used to explain these tasks was written in Visual Basic, and the codes are there for Python and Visual Basic and pseudocode. But the most important thing from exam point of view is just the pseudocode that will appear in exam. So I believe I tried my best to explain everything as far as P2 is concerned. I wanted to teach you every bit of this P2, including PRMs. I tried my best. If anything is left, you may send me a WhatsApp message or ask under below the videos, and I will keep this WhatsApp group alive. And if you have any questions, to ask those questions in the group. I will open that group for the participants. Number two, I will again post the link for the GitHub repository where you can download all these pre-release materials, their expected questions, Python codes, pseudo codes, and whatever that is required. Everything is there. So thank you very much. I had a very nice time teaching you people for last 10 days, and I tried my best. If I could not complete any part, or if I was lacking teaching a part in full, or it was my misunderstanding that led you to something which is basically confusing, I'm really sorry for that. I hope that I contributed as much as possible from my side, whatever in my strength, notes, assignments, PRMs, my class boards, everything I tried to share, and I tried to do everything in a good faith. All right. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Take care. Best of luck for your exams, and O level exams are starting from tomorrow. It is not a good year for students or maybe for teachers. हम सब परेशान हैं. सबके लिए बेहतर हो, and I pray for all of you. Thank you very much. Take care.